You all voted yesterday which video you wanted me to do next, so here it is. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys what I think is actually the most overpowered Zane build. So don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel for more Borderlands 3 content, join the Zane Nation Discord channel, and be a part of our mastermind we're putting together. Link is in the pinned comment down below. Shout out to ADR for the shorter intros. He says the longer ones were getting really old, really fast, and guess what? I agree. So thanks ADR for telling it how it is. So if you guys haven't heard of the infinite ammo combo with Zane, you basically need a cutpurse artifact, a facepuncher, and the double barrel capstone to give a copy of any weapon to the digi clone. Then you're going to give the facepuncher to your digi clone, and he'll refill the ammo of whatever gun you're holding. Now, I just wanted to say, Gimmick Builds is actually the first one to figure this out. I'll put his link in the description below. He also figures out a ton of other insane interactions, so go check him out, drop a sub. Anyways, guys, this build is basically an update to what I think is the strongest infinite ammo build you can possibly run, and honestly, probably the strongest Zane build I've seen yet. If you guys want to tell me what you think it is in the comments below, go ahead, but this is what I personally think it is. So we have added gun damage, added survivability with an unbreakable shield, added frame drops because we're literally killing everyone so fast that the game can't handle it, and finally, more explosions to make Mr. Torg proud. Now, this version of the build, I've put a lot of thought into every single skill, every piece of gear, and it's all really important if you want to get the most damage and run as smooth as possible. And there's also a couple tricks we're using to keep things really efficient. So let's get into it. Let's start with the skill trees. The first thing you might notice is that we have all of the damage skill perks purchased. Synchronicity, Donnybrook, Violent Momentum, Confident Competence. All of these will also scale damage of our Tediore throws. The main other way to scale Tediore damage would be Prey Munitus and Cool Hand, magazine size and reload speed. I'm sure most of you know that Tediore does more damage the bigger the magazine size, and if we reload faster, we can basically chuck faster. So the other important skill is Salvation. Now, you don't need the full amount of points in this because we're literally doing so much damage. We just need some amount of lifesteal, and then Death Follows Close will help boost this too. So the other two important skills are Borrowed Time and Adrenaline. Our clone being out with the Facepuncher is obviously important to the strategy, and I'm also going to show you guys a really cool trick with Adrenaline I'll get to in a second. Next, Duct Tape Mod will always proc because we're always on a fresh mag with our Tediore weapons. And besides that, we just want 1 point in Pocket Full of Grenades so we don't run out, and then Boom Enhance so that our clone can actually survive if an enemy decides to focus him. Now, for the action skills, we are using the clone and the barrier. So Augments for the barrier, you're going to want Charged Relay because this gives you increased reload speed, which means you can chuck even more Tediores out. And then you want the All-Rounder. This will just give you and the clone protection to stand under, and also you need the barrier to be on the ground for Charge Relay to work, so keep that in mind. For the augments on the clone, the main one to get is Doppelbanger. Because the clone is the most important part of this build, you want to be able to basically take him down if you ever need to. For Proving Grounds, Doppelbanger is essential because you'll often find that he has a lot of time left when you need to go to the next zone. So you'll want to blow him up and then re-put him out in the next area. And then for the second augment, it's really up to you. Just don't use the two on the right because the clone is important to stay alive. So we want the focus of enemies to stay on you, and we also don't want to deal health damage to him. So as you guys can see, these skills are primarily focused on the most damage possible. Now, there's a couple variations that are definitely viable with this strategy. However, I've been trying out a lot of different versions of this build and a lot of different skills. And I think this one puts out the most damage possible. And even though our action skills won't be infinite, so our clone won't be out all the time, we're going to get insane cooldown speeds with adrenaline, plus the trick I'm about to talk about in a second. So onto the gear. First, obviously we need the face puncher. It's the piece that makes the combo. That's our first weapon. Next, I'm using what I find to be the highest DPS weapon, especially with infinite ammo, a maxed out baby maker. This thing splits into 4 other baby makers and then homes in on enemies. Now, most people don't like this gun because each baby maker that spawns uses ammo from your stash, but obviously that's not going to matter here because we got infinite. So the third weapon we're using is a shock TDOR shotgun called the Everblast. This one also splits into 4 other shotguns and homes in on enemies. Now that's the version I have. It doesn't matter which version you have. The most important thing is that it explodes on impact. Because the main purpose in this build, at least with this shotgun, is when our clone goes down, we're going to pull this out and we're going to keep throwing it at ourselves to refill our shields with a transformer. So that's the trick we're using with adrenaline to get maximum cooldown speed for our clone. As soon as we get our clone back up, we're just going to switch back to the baby maker because the baby maker's most of our damage. So we just want the clone up with baby maker as much as possible. But what's really cool about this shotgun is that you can actually refill your own ammo with a face puncher if your clone goes down. So if there's an extended amount of time your clone is down for any reason, or if you just want to have fun with this shotgun, you can do it all on your own. And this shotgun is definitely very powerful. It still deals upwards of 50,000 damage per throw, and it can definitely clear some mobs. The only actual downside to it is that it is shock, so it's bad against armor, it's bad against red health. Now I do want to mention, if you can't find this shotgun, you can also use a shock handsome jackhammer. Now the handsome jackhammer, from what I've heard, doesn't do as much damage to enemies as this shotgun does, but I have found that you can definitely throw 2 or 3 right on top of yourself to self-heal, and it'll literally keep you healed for as long as they're bouncing. So that's another gun you could look out for. Finally, our last weapon. Now this is the least specific gear piece in this build, in my opinion. You just need something in this slot really strong, just in case you go into fight for your life mode. Now, I found a really nice fire dictator recently. I enjoy using it, so that's what I'm using in this slot. But you just need something really strong. But keep in mind, you don't want a pistol and you don't want a shotgun, just in case you use all your ammo throwing TDORs. Now, onto the shield. Like I mentioned a second ago, we're using the transformer. This will allow us to fully heal our shields with only 1 throw of a shock Everblast or our shock jackhammers, and it's going to give us maximum cooldown time with adrenaline. For the artifact, like I mentioned before, you need a cutpurse. Now, as long as you get a cutpurse, that's all that's important. If you could get any other roll on this artifact, then get the plus 40% magazine size, because that adds damage to your TDOR throws. And also I want to mention, you do not want a deathless artifact, because salvation is our main skill keeping us alive while we have our main engine going, and that does not combo with deathless at all. So for the class mod, I've tried a couple different class mods, but my favorite by far with this skill set specifically is the Executor. You want as many points in Good Misfortune as possible. Mine only has 2 points in it, and it definitely works. You rack up so many kills back to back that your clone will feel like he's literally around forever. So definitely look out for Good Misfortune. That's it for the build, guys. This build has been pretty awesome and really good to me. I've been beating Slaughter with neutral modifiers in just over 20 minutes, which is probably my personal best times by far. I've been doing the Proving Grounds, the Bandit one with neutral modifiers, in about 9 minutes. I'm going to keep trying to beat my time, so, don't worry. Now, I'm thinking about starting Proving Ground trials with all of my subs. If that's something you guys are interested, comment down below. I think it'll be fun competing with each other to see who can get the best times with the different builds. But from playing this build, I genuinely think this build has the highest power Zane can get right now. If the cutpurse clone combo ever gets nerfed, I have a backup build. So that way, if you guys do decide to farm out the gear for this, it won't go to waste. There's definitely a build you can use post nerf. So don't worry, like I said, about collecting gear. You'll still be able to use it if this gets nerfed. But anyways, guys, that's the build. That's the most insane Zane build I could think to put together. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section. Don't forget to leave a like on the video, sub to the channel, and join the Zane Nation Discord. Come join in on the fun, guys. We're in there every day talking and hanging out, and, you know, we're all addicted to Zane. So, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.